This programme was made with the support of the Broadcasting Authority of Ireland.
With pedals turning, the miles are burning, revealing landscapes so awe-inspiring, from the crashing ocean to the mountains climbing. Ireland is there for you and me.
Ireland has great appeal.
Ireland is beautiful.
The varieties it's so beautiful you can't imagine.
I'm still amazed with the landscapes and the culture and the rich culture.
It's an absolutely beautiful place. It's lovely.
And the views are beautiful.
I just love the people. I love the music.
In Ireland, people are very sociable, generous and kind.
The people, because they were so open and friendly.
The Irish people seem to be very open-minded and friendly and welcoming.
People are quite willing to give you help and information. It's a very, very pleasant place to be.
I'm Paul Wright and welcome to the 11th programme of On Your Bike, the series which celebrates those people and places we encounter on our cycle odyssey along Ireland's western seaboard. In our last programme, we left Clifton Town in County Galway to continue our cycle northwards. Eventually reaching Letterfrack village, I booked myself into the old monastery hostel situated there. The hostel is run by Stephen Gannon, and he had this humorous story to share.
We used to have these geologists staying with us for 2 weeks. So we had these guys arriving, and so we used to give them a breakfast and a bit of dinner and the whole lot. Like, there were about 50 of them to be here for 2 weeks, and they were great crack, like, but they were geologists. So myself and Jerry, the brother, anyway, one day we ordered 2 boxes of bananas, green bananas, and we got fishing gut, and we stitched them out, stitched the 2 boxes of bananas up into the cabbage palms out in the garden to let them ripen. So anyone, casual observer, anyone who didn't know what a banana bush or a banana tree, for want of a better description, thought these were banana trees, and green bananas, and some of them were going yellow, and they're ripening nice and gradually in the trees, and we'd go out in the morning with a big knife and we'd climb up the tree and
look the part,
cut off a bunch or two, and with great drama throw them down and bring them in and put them up on the breakfast.
I'd say the people were there. Well, I've seen it all now.
We had fooled a lot of people, and we used to tell them, don't be picking them off the trees. No, you can eat the windfalls, all right, like, but don't be picking them off the trees like an odd one and fall, like, But no, we don't.
Did you make sure to take away the 5 sticker?
I'm sure you wouldn't. I mean, at the end of the day, people thought they'd grow with them on them. You wouldn't know.
You never know.
You never know. Anyway, there was one day then, that all came to an end one day anyway, that we were within having the breakfast, and there was a big gang inside in the dining room, and they were watching these antics out in the garden. Jerry was above in the tree and a big knife at him, and he cut down a couple of big bunches of bananas and he threw them down, and I gathered them in my arms and I was heading in, and this Dutch woman was inside and she was looking out and she said, "I don't believe it. Bananas do not grow in the west of Ireland." And I said, "You know something, you're right. Normally they don't. But there was a lot of rain early on this year and a good bit of sun after it, and they've done really well." But there was an Australian girl there, and she said, "I can't believe you said that with such a straight face." and the whole myth was blown anyway. That was it. That was the end of the banana.
How long did you have it going for the myth? Like, I mean, how long was it live and kicking? I mean, guys ringing the radio stations
for 2 weeks, and the bananas were still ripening. It was a perfect way to ripen them. They were green bananas when we got them, and they were perfect. So they lasted for a couple of weeks after that before we used them all up. So it was. It worked well.
Well, Stephen, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you're meeting the world in their mum here. You're having people from all... I mean, how far afield are people coming from to the hostel here? I mean, where are you getting them from? I mean, you've been in the business for donkey's years now. I mean, I'd say you've met the world and her mother and more.
Yeah, they're from everywhere. You know yourself. At different times of the year, different people arrive. But we've had, we've had all sorts and all from all types and all divides, and we have We have Muslims that come here with from Oman and Saudi Arabia. We have them from Indonesia, and we get Israelis and we get Palestinians, and we can even get them at the same time, you know. And we just get everybody, like, you know, and the house, that's the way the house is. It's open to everyone, and there's no politics here, like, you know, and you leave it outside, leave your politics outside the door, and just enjoy the good old-fashioned Connemara hospitality, and, you know.
I'm here now. I've just come from the old Monastery Hostel here in Letterfrack. I've just walked a small distance up. I'm talking with a person here now. First of all, who am I talking with, and where are we at the moment, and what are we looking out at? What landscape?
Well, my name is Reynolds. I'm the Education Officer with Connemara National Park, and you're literally just in the grounds of Connemara National Park, and the main view that you have is Diamond Hill. And Diamond Hill is one of our biggest tourist attractions in Connemara.
Fantastic. And Carol, what does the park enclose?
Okay, we have an area of just over 2,000 hectares, which is a little close to 5,000 acres. And the main area would be blanket bog, but we do have some trees. We do have a very small woodland, and the woodland is basically down to James Ellis, who was a Quaker who came into the area during the famine times and did a lot of work and helped the people greatly in this area. We have about 11,000 shrubs and trees on the parkland, which apparently James is responsible for actually planting. So one of our walks is called the Ellis Wood, and it's a very small nature trail, and it's named after James Ellis, who planted all those trees.
And also, where would you be getting people from now? Where would they be coming from to visit the park here now?
They come from all over the world. We would have a lot of Europeans, especially French and German. The French would be our biggest visitors, apart from the Irish, of course. The Irish for the last 2 years have been really paying us a lot of attention, but mainly we would have a lot of Europeans. We would have Americans coming from sort of the end of August to October and in the earlier months, whereas we would get the Europeans all through the year, but I say mostly French, June, July, August.
Now, Carol, what are the kind of questions? A person comes in here, there's a beautiful centre here as you walk into the park. It's gorgeous, there's tea rooms, everything, an interpretive centre and everything. And then we're out onto Diamond Hill here right beside us, and the beautiful blanket bog and the forests and everything. I mean, what kind of questions are the people come when they see the variety of the park?
The main thing they want to know about is the bog. A lot of people don't realise what bog is. So when they go through the interpretation centre, you know, of all the exhibition, and they want to know really what is bog, what is peat, what's turf, because they've seen it as they're coming along to the park. They've seen people cutting turf, they've seen the ricks of turf on the side of the road, and they just really want to know what it is. A lot of the Europeans wouldn't really know what bog is. They might know it in their own language, but when they come across this word bog, they just haven't a notion of what it actually is. And of course the Americans are totally infatuated with bog. Totally infatuated.
Wow, I mean, how infatuated?
They want to know everything about it. They want to know how it got here. They want to know what it's made of. They want to know what people do with it when they cut it, how they cut it. Every aspect of bog and bog life, they want to know all about it.
That's fantastic, wow. And okay, what exactly is bog?
Bog is basically, it's the area where the peat is formed, where you go and you cut your turf, and it's a habitat. We have two types of bog in Ireland, and in the West we have Atlantic blanket bog. So it's an area that can be from 30 centimetres in depth to 5 metres. But it's made up of dead vegetation, and the bog we have in this area is about 4,000 years old.
Wow, 4,000 years?
Yeah.
And how did it come about? Was it just the decomposition of trees, former forests over 4,000 years ago, or what?
There's a couple of ideas of how bog was formed. One was that man came in, cut down all the trees, it burnt the woodland floor, and a charcoal layer formed, which made drainage fairly impossible. We had a lot of rain then, and it was just a build-up of climate change. The rain came in, and the plants didn't have anywhere to go. They just built up on top of one another, and with all the rain there was no drainage because of the charcoal layer. Another idea is that it was basically just rained for 200 years, maybe 300 years. The ground became so waterlogged, again the minerals leached out from the actual soil and formed an iron pan, and nothing could drain below the iron pan. And again, because of the rain, the plants just lay on top of one another, no drainage, and the bog formed. So that's basically a basic idea of how bog.
Carol, what's your own belief? I mean, what do you think? I mean, there's two theories you gave there. I mean, what do you think yourself? Do you think it was the decomposition, or maybe the non-stop rain, and the minerals leaching out and everything?
I think possibly it was climate change. Even though Connemara had a lot of trees 10,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, and we don't have so many trees now, but I still think climate change had an awful lot to do with it. I think it's probably happening again. We've a lot of rain in Connemara. A blanket bog especially, needs around about 1,250 mils of rain over a 230-day period. In the west here, we get about 1,700 mils of rain over a 260-day period. So we have the right climatic conditions for blanket bog to continue to grow. So we'll never hopefully lose it in this area.
After my visit to Connemara National Park in Letterfrack, it was back on my bike to continue my cycle northwards along Ireland's western seaboard.
With the pedals turning, the miles are burning, revealing landscapes so awe-inspiring, from the crashing ocean to the mountains climbing. Ireland is there for you and me.
I'm here now. I've just arrived into Kylemore Abbey, and just coming from Letterfrack, and after being down to Connemara National Park, I'm talking with a person here now who's very much in charge of the management of the Abbey here nowadays. First of all, would you like to introduce yourself to our listeners, please?
Sure. My name is Brid, Connell, and I'm the Sales and Marketing Manager here at Kylemore Abbey.
Now, Brid, Kylemore Abbey has a storied past. I mean, first of all, just for our listeners, what are the historic roots of Kylemore Abbey?
Well, Kylemore, it means big wood in Irish, and it would have been covered in an old oak forest thousands of years ago, and there's still a small part of that oak forest remaining here. And Mitchell Henry is the man who built the castle in 1871 it was completed, and he had come here on honeymoon in 1850 with his wife Margaret. They both fell in love with the area, and he inherited a fortune from his father and came back and built the castle and bought the estate as a gift for his wife. So that's
God, he really loved his wife. There's nothing about a lovely gift, isn't it?
Yes, he was based in London, so essentially this was their holiday home.
Wow, fantastic. And he would have been an MP at the time, Member of Parliament, quite an influential man, very successful businessman.
Yes, that's right. He represented Galway in the House of Commons for 14 years, and he did a huge amount for the rights of Irish people, and particularly people in Connemara, trying to get Connemara developed, improving the infrastructure here and the rights for the tenants.
Right, fantastic. A lot of good work on the ground. And just before we continue with the historical progression of Kylemore, I mean, try and give our listeners a word picture. It would have been finished in 1871. Try and just give them a word picture of what it looks like, because it's so impressive to come in the bicycle, and you're cycling in, and there's beautiful lake fronting this gorgeous, if I'm correct now, mock Gothic Victorian castle. Beautiful.
It's absolutely stunning, and as you said, yes, when you turn around the corner and you get that first glimpse of the castle, it's quite striking. And when Mitchell Henry bought the estate, there was 15,000 acres. He could have built a castle on much easier land to build, which would have been surveying his estate. Usually they would have had tree-lined avenues up to the estate with amazing views, but he chose this very difficult place to build, which is a small piece of land sandwiched between a huge mountain and a lake, and that's what gives it its dramatic image. The castle is reflected in the lake, and with the backdrop of the mountain, that's what makes it such an iconic image that's known around the world.
I'd say when people come, they must be, if you want to call it, flabbergasted.
Oh, yes, they don't expect it, because as you travel around Connemara, you're seeing usually small buildings, small cottages, very sort of rural architecture. And then you come around the corner and there's this magnificent castle that's just set there. And it's real sort of fairy tale-like with its little turrets. And even the stone that's used is from Dalkey, and it's kind of a whitish granite. And that's set against the green backdrop of the mountain. And it's just so striking.
They certainly knew how to do it back then, there's no doubt about it. And just, keeping with the historical progression of Kylemore, Mitchell Henry would have been finished in 1871. How did things fare for Kylemore Castle, as it was known then, from 1870s onwards?
Well, Mitchell Henry developed the castle and the estate. He had a model farm here and 6 acres of a Victorian walled garden, and he continuously developed and tried new methods of improving the soil here, showing farmers how to improve their farming techniques and things like that. So he continuously worked on that, and then he ended up selling the castle in the early 1900s, and it was the new purchasers were the Duke and Duchess of Manchester, and her father was a very wealthy American who bought it as a wedding gift for her, and her husband lost it in a game of cards.
God, that was not good, not good.
Not good at all. So it went to a caretaker for a few years, and over this period of years since the Mitchell Henrys had it, a lot of it went into decline. The gardens weren't really looked after, and the nuns came to buy it. The Benedictine community came to buy it in 1920.
They were actually, you said in a matter of milliseconds, the Benedictine, but I mean, it's quite interesting how they came about too. They were actually, it was the end of the First World War, their convent had been destroyed in the first, near Ypres in Belgium, am I right, or whatever, if my historical memory is correct?
Yes, that's correct. The history of the Benedictine community is fascinating. They would have, originally they were an Irish community that fled Ireland about 350 years ago because of the penal laws, so they weren't allowed to practice their religion here, and they fled to Belgium, to Ypres, and they set up a school there, and a tradition was started then with Irish nobility sending their daughters to be educated there, and they were known as the Irish dames in Belgium, so their links with Ireland was very strong throughout those years. And then World War I, as you said, their abbey was destroyed, so then they returned back to Ireland, and they set up a school here, internationally known boarding school.
Are the nuns here anymore, Brid? I mean, are there actually nuns living in Kylemore now? It's finished as a boarding school. Is it still a convent or what?
Oh, it still very much is. Yeah, the nuns are very much part of Kylemore Abbey. There's about 12 of them here at the moment. Some of them live in the building itself, in the Abbey, and then the others live in a farm across the road. And they run retreats and music classes, and they're very involved in sort of the culture and the arts and spiritual retreats. So they're still teaching, but in a sort of different capacity now that the school has closed. So they're still very much part here. We do a lot of school tours here, so we have school tours coming from around the country to visit Kylemore. And I had one particular class, they were from a small rural school in Mayo, and the teacher was preparing them for their visit to Kylemore, and one of the students didn't know what a nun was, and so she asked the pupils, did anybody know what a nun was? And nobody in the class had ever seen a nun, and so she showed them pictures and explained about Kylemore and it's a convent and all of that. And so when the children arrived here, we were on a tour, and one of the kids spotted a nun in the distance getting into a car, and it just was like, oh, it's a nun, and all the children ran to see this nun, and they were so excited about having seen one, because they do look quite dramatic in their black habit. And the nun got into the car and drove off, and one of the children was like, it can drive.
That's one for the books, there's no doubt about it.
We'll cycle boreens, cycle highways, meet friendly kind folk down every byway to tell us stories of their own lives, living in the beauty of this country.
I'm here now. I've just come along the bicycle. I was kind of accosted, if you want to call it that. First of all, I'm talking to two people here. Just tell our listeners who you are and how we kind of got talking. This is truly one for the books now, this.
I'm George Griffin from Clare. Kilmaley man at heart, but supposedly now Connemara lost here for a while, but we'll see how it goes if I ever get out of here. And
sure, you actually came up to me. I was just cycling along the bicycle, minding my own business. All of a sudden, a car comes up behind me, and I didn't know who it was. I thought it was the special branch or somebody. I did something wrong. And you were actually lost here in the wilds of Connemara.
Yeah, well, we were trying to get back to Galway, but so we went to Kylemore, but we didn't get out of the car. We just had a look at it, and then we're trying to get to Galway now as fast as we can, but we took the wrong road anyway, so we decided to ask this lad here, a nice man, for directions while we were driving, but and we got roped into this, but
there you go. Worst things could happen, but we'll try and get you back to Galway on time. And Anne, you're actually from Dublin, and what do you think of this neck of the woods yourself? This part of Ireland now.
Yeah, I love Connemara. I actually know it pretty well, so I thought we were going the wrong way anyways. But we had
so it's his fault, is it, that you're going the wrong way? You're actually on the way now to Lena and then Lewisburg.
I kind of copped on that we were on the way to Westport, which that's why we stopped to make sure and ask you. He said cyclists always know the way.
There you go. And little did you realise you'd be on radio for your sins, But you were at Kylemore Abbey. What did you think of Kylemore Abbey? I was interviewing a good few of the people there now, the marketing manager and everything. What do you think of it? Very spectacular, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah, it's well worth to see, for tourists and everything, just come into the area, and get a bit of a taste.
We're causing a bit of a traffic jam here on the road.
Yeah.
Just for you actually you didn't go into the Abbey itself, did you? The building, the main building. No, didn't have time, I suppose.
Yeah, we didn't have time, but we'll go there the next time.
yeah, you had to get lost and meet up with me.
We were soaked from being out in Rainstone all day, so we kind of just didn't want to get out again with the weather. It's our own fault, but the architecture is amazing and stuff like that.
I just want to say, Anne and Ger, on behalf of all our listeners, thanks profusely. You're after brightening up my day, you know what I mean? I thought I was good and bad in directions, but there's people there who are just at the same calibre as myself, which is great. I'm not the only one who gets lost in Connemara, but and you're on your way back to Galway now, anyway.
Due to you, we're going back the right way.
Whoa! Let's go for it.
Yeah, just turn around the car now. Off we go.
Best of luck, folks, anyway. A million.
A kindly greeting from old friends meeting, for life is fleeting. 'Neath this Irish sky, hear the fiddle playing, with the old ones sing. Bless the shamrock as our days pass by.
I'm here now. I'm just now after getting off the bicycle after having a lovely complimentary few cups of coffee here, because I was half dying. I was, from the exertions of the pedalling. And I'm talking with a woman here now. So I'll let you introduce yourself and just tell the listeners where we are and what goes on here in this great place.
Hi, my name is Zoe. We're in Killary Adventure Centre in Lena, County Galway. We do many different activities here, both land and water-based activities, from 8 years old and upwards.
Great. Now, I was here about 3 years ago, Zoe, passing through the area, and I was down kind of in the adventure activities area down there by the fjord, the Killary Fjord, or Killary Harbour. And it's really, really kind. There's a lot of razzmatazz, bungee jumps, you name it. Give a description to the listeners of what goes on.
Yeah, sure. With the land-based activities, we've got everything from hill walking around this beautiful countryside to the high ropes course to bungee jumping. It's just about 20 metres high. It's the only fixed bungee jump in Ireland. We've also got other thrill rides, the giant swing. We do laser combat games for everyone. We do archery as well. We have rock climbing, a climbing tower as well. For the land, or for the water, should I say, we have kayaking, we have river climbing, we do sailing and windsurfing as well. We've got water skiing. We do Ringo rides for the kids as well, and big kids too. They're inflatable shaped donuts that get pulled behind the speedboat.
Just only in Killary Harbour, eh? I would have said Disneyland, but here we are, Killary Harbour as well.
Yeah, only down here. Sure, I mean, we've got the water for it and everything like that, so yeah. Yeah.
This is the same fjord, I mean, as one folklorist pointed out to me a few years ago, that German U-boats would have come up during the Second World War, am I right? This is Killary, the only fjord in Ireland.
It's the only fjord in Ireland, so it is. And yeah, there is a story of the U-boat coming up, German U-boat, and it's either American or English that came up as well, and they were both in the same place at the same time, but they could never let each other know that they were here because it's in neutral grounds here, and then they went off in their separate ways after the storm passed by. But yeah, the only fjord in Ireland now.
My God, very. And just yourself, I mean, Zoe, you were telling me that you were actually originally from Dublin yourself, East Sider of Ireland, so to speak, and like myself. And but you've been here now, how many years now? And have you been in this neck of the woods?
I've been down here 13 years now. I left Dublin 13 years just after college, and I came down here to work in another adventure centre, and met a guy from Dublin. He's down here too, and we've settled down here now 13 years in this job. I've been in here 10 years now, so flown past, and it's all good.
That's great, fantastic, great to be able to say that. And okay, we were just shooting the breeze earlier on. You love this part of the world, you really do. You've taken it to heart. I mean, what do you love most about it?
It's beautiful. I mean, the scenery. No one can see it at the moment, but where we're standing upstairs in our dining room, just looking out along the Killary Harbour, you can see Mulray Mountain, which is typically covered in cloud at the moment, but the whole view is just around the place, the surrounding view. We've got up in our dining room, it's like 180 degree angle of the whole harbour going into Linan and out all the way. You can see Inishboffin. Well, on clear days, not the rain is coming in now, but on clear days you can see it. It's just absolutely stunning around here, and in the summertime, the height of the summer, the sun sets right out in the harbour front and the whole sky turns pink. It's absolutely beautiful, and even in the winter time you get blue skies around here, so it's absolutely beautiful around here. Wouldn't have it any other way.
I've been talking to Zoe, talking with a few good people here. Who am I talking to, and where are you from?
I'm April, I'm from Burskane.
Laura from Burskane.
Anthony from Burskane. And Sean from Burskane.
God, I better not say anything against Burskane or I'm in trouble. But look, folks, yourselves, I mean, how long have you been here in Killary Adventure Centre now?
We've been here since Wednesday, so it's been great crack.
Yeah, what was the good thing about it?
Oh, jumping into the bog hole, definitely.
Into the bog hole? What was that all about?
Getting dirty.
Laura, for yourself, I mean, did you try the bog hole as well?
Yeah, oh my God. Hated it when I got in. But then once we got into it, it was so fun. It was actually right crack.
Wasn't it?
Everybody just started splashing muck everywhere. It's so funny.
And men yourselves, did you try the bog hole?
Yeah, it's great crack. One of the best things.
would you recommend it to all your friends?
Oh yeah, definitely.
100,000 welcomes you will find.
This programme was made with the support of the Broadcasting Authority of Ireland.
With the pedals turning, the miles are burning, revealing landscapes so awe-inspiring. From the crashing ocean to the mountains climbing, Ireland is there for you and me. From Mount Skull to Inishowen, from the Dalkey Island to Inishboffin, from Carrontool to Lugnaquilla, Ireland is there to ramble free. We'll climb the mountains, swim the rivers, surf the high tide, up near Bundoran, set our mainsail towards the Shannon, or see the hookers race off Spiddle shore. On Blasket Island we'll walk the white strand and see where Peg drew her inspiration. Near Ennis Diamond we'll stand on high cliffs, those proud and majestic cliffs of Moher. We'll climb the steps of